Hey, welcome to the ladies' room. This is your girl, Ashley Michelle, and I am so excited about tonight's show. We got the whole squad here, except for one person, Mrs. Understanding. She'll be in a little bit later, but she's working, so, we'll see. She can come in later. But we got the rest of the squad here. We got Mrs. Kenny Hill. We got Mrs. Jovo. And we got Mr. Darwin Hill. All right, y'all. Tonight we have a really, really good show. For those of you who are not familiar, we are the ladies' room. All right, we come to you every Wednesday night, usually at 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. And we talk about everything pertaining to ladies, love and marriage, relationships, raising children. We talk about mental health, physical health. We talk about so many different things. We talk about societal issues. We take our stab at a lot of the common topics that come up on social media. We talk about it all right here in the ladies' room. So go ahead, hit that like button. I want you all to subscribe so you can keep up with what we're doing, what we have going on. All right. So let's go ahead and go to our first topic. All right. The first topic, does being a man's peace keep him from cheating? Does being a man's peace keep him from cheating? All right, this question is inspired by a video or an interview that Kevin Gates did that everybody's been talking about for, the past few days or so. And I didn't even know who Kevin Gates was until he's been like trending on social media. But basically, he had an interview where he talked about many different things. But one aspect of the interview, he talked about cheating. All right. And he had an interesting take on cheating. So I'm going to go ahead and play that clip. And then I want to hear what you all have to say about it. All right. So here is the clip. Do you all see it?
Yes. No, I still see us.
What type of value you have to me if you're my place?
No, we can't see
I hear it, but I can't see it.
Let me share it. Here we go.
Like, it depends on what type of value you have to me. If you're my place of peace, I'm not gonna fuck it up.
Okay.
When you say a man cheating, no, he going looking for peace somewhere else because he's not receiving peace where he at.
Not true.
Okay, so you my peace, and we arguing every night. That's not peaceful.
I can be your peace and you still go cheat.
You arguing though? We arguing? Can I be myself around you?
Yeah.
Okay, watch this. So if it's something you don't agree with, you ever just and gave off that fucked up energy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna catch that.
Okay. And you guess what?
And that's gonna disrupt.
You gonna respect it.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a compliance.
Yeah.
Right? Gang wrong, nigga. Right gang wrong, nigga. I love this show. I do. Yes, Lord.
So do you think that like men and women cheat for different reasons?
Yeah.
Like, okay, so why do you feel women cheat?
Like, it depends on what type of value you have to me. If you're my place of peace, I'm not gonna fuck it up.
All right, y'all. So he's had a mouthful to say about cheating. All right. And there are a few different ways you can take his comments, right? But I want to hear just your general impressions and what you all think about what he said. Who wants to go first? Maybe we should let the fella on the squad go first. What you think, Darwin?
Well, I don't agree with that. So it depends on. I mean, arguing with your woman, that's like not being peaceful. I mean, if you argue with someone, that's not being peaceful. I mean, I argue with my friends, argue with my family. I don't cut them off. I don't go and do something that's going to bring disloyal to the relationship, to our friendship or relationship. So I don't understand why would they use that as a reason to go and be disloyal to their woman because they had some arguments. I think men cheat for all types of different reasons, just not because it's not peace at the home. It's just maybe some insecurities on their behalf. They don't feel completed. as a man, but I don't like to blame another person, the woman, for why a man cheats, because if he's not happy, he could just leave and go and be with another woman if that's the case. So that's not the reason, to cheat. You can just, be happy and go find a peaceful woman. So I don't agree with that. A woman just has to be the peace, and a man won't cheat. But especially with that scenario about arguing every night or whatever, that depends on what the argument is about. Man, if she's just a nag, and then it still is layers to that. I mean, what are you doing? I mean, how's the communication? Are you the problem for the lack of communication and why is argument? Because it takes two to argue. So if you're arguing with her, can she go cheat? So it works both ways. So no, I don't agree with that.
So what if a woman does nag a lot and she's just generally like a negative Nancy, never happy, always got something negative to say, or at least like most of the time.
Well, that's the person that
Well, a
you're
man
supposed to be with. That's a bigger problem.
Okay.
Go find somebody else. Obviously, it's not working out. I mean, if that's how she is, that's how she is. I mean, some women aren't like just naggers, they brats and stuff like that. And that's the type of woman he picked. And then you find out that that's not the woman you want, then just go and be happy with somebody else. I mean, you can cheat and then do whatever you want to. I mean, people can do whatever they want to, but I wouldn't blame the woman for doing it.
Right. Okay. Right. All right, ladies, what do you all think? Not at once.
Man, listen, I am so tired of people measuring their level of integrity by they're actually determining how much integrity they're going to have as it relates to how other people behave, something that they don't have any control over. Like, all behavior is a choice. If you choose to cheat, you're going to cheat. Whether you have June Cleaver at home, whether you have one of the city girls at home, whether you have Miss Jovo at home, if that is your behavioral choice, you're going to cheat. Like, people complicate things are not that complicated. And I think that him saying, oh, if you're my piece, then, I'm not going to cheat. That's a cop-out. That is a cop-out for you to say, I take no responsibility if I choose to cheat because I cheated because you're not my piece. That's very manipulative. And that's if you're in a relationship where somebody literally is telling you that they're going to behave in a certain way if you don't do X, Y, and Z, that sounds like manipulation. Like, you choose to do certain things. This is not a hard concept to follow. So if a man is going to cheat, he's going to cheat. It's you. You control if you cheat on somebody or not the other person. That's not up to them. It's up to you. That's a behavior. Like, when you get into bed with somebody else, or they like chain link to you, like, babe, look, you better stop me. I'm about to do this. No, you make a conscious decision to do this. People need to start taking accountability for behaviors that they can only take accountability for. And stop putting it on their partner. Like, that is just ridiculous.
Okay.
I actually got a so I don't think I would call that manipulation. If a man tells a woman, like, if you're not my piece, I'm going to cheat. Now, if he defines what peace means to him in that situation, and she agrees, and be like, okay, I won't do this, or I'll try to do this, I'll cook, clean, whatever the case may be, and she's okay with it, and then she starts doing that, and then finds herself in a situation that he's cheating. I mean, I don't think that's manipulation. That's just a person being honest. Honestly, I'm gonna do this. If you can't do X, Y, Z for me, I'm gonna go out and get it elsewhere. I think that's like honesty. And at that point, she has a decision to make. Am I going to try to live up to these bogus standards, or should I just walk away? Now, if she chooses to try to entertain that, then she's putting herself through some stuff, and she should take some accountability for even entertaining that situation.
But see, this is why a lot of black men, this is why they desire marriage and they don't get it. because you got a lot of men out there. Y'all are ready to say, "This is what I want in a wife." But the minute she step outside of these roles and these boundaries, okay, now you ready to give up on something. Oh, I just, I'm finna go out here and see what else is out there. Let me go find my peace. And that's just a cop out. Like, it's a cop out. Like, my thing is, you signed up for something. And we talked about this on the show before, that level of duty and commitment. This is what you signed up for. If you, even outside of marriage, if you have said to the person that you with, it's me and you against the world, it's us, we're committed, this is where we are. And you're basing your level of integrity on how they behave, you entering into it the wrong way already. That's just my opinion. Like, a lot of people are really focused on what other people are doing, and we cannot control other people. I cannot stress this enough. If you follow me on Facebook, you know at least 4 times a week I am expressing to everybody, you cannot control other people. You control how you respond to other people. So at the end of the day, if a man chooses to go out there and cheat, he can line up how, disruptive she was, how she was not cooperative or not submissive. But 9 times out of 10, you knew this was a problem before you cheated. Like, you can't just be, oh, well, she wasn't doing this, and then all of a sudden, oh, I chose to go cheat.
But if a man says that's what it is it really cheating at this point, or is it just?
It is. You broke.
I think if a man tells a woman, if you do XYZ, I'm a cheat, and then she does XYZ and he goes and cheat, I don't think that's cheating, because cheating is like literally like going behind somebody's back, doing some things that they want to approve of. But if I'm sitting here telling you right now off rip, this is what I'm going to do, I don't constitute that as cheating. I think that's just like a malicious way of being honest. I mean,
you breached your contract though, Darwin. You breached your contract. That's it. Like, when I got married, there was no like sidebar. Okay, you know how on the radio where they are advertising a product, and then all of a sudden the fast talking at the end tells you like the real terms and conditions. Like, nobody was saying that at the altar. Nobody was saying that when we got married. Like, oh, and by the way, if you're not his piece, then he has the permit to cheat. Okay, 12, 12, 5, 2, 2, 6. No.
So what does in this situation, what is the woman to do when a man says, if you're not my piece, whatever that piece means to him and her, whatever they come up with, what is she? Isn't she supposed to just walk away? Or if she stays in it, that's giving him that's validating him as saying, okay, she's letting me dictate the terms of this relationship.
Can we stay on his behavior though? Can we stay on the fact that
it's so easy
for him to go out and sleep with somebody else? Like, if it's that easy for you to go out and sleep with somebody else, are you really ready to have a girl at home? Are you really ready to have a wife at home? That's the biggest question.
Like I said, it depends on. It depends on how everybody defines marriage or relationship. We have people that's swingers. We have people that's in open marriages. So I can't tell everybody how they should move in their relationship. But if a woman agrees with that man on how things should go, it's just between these two people. So if this man and this woman, forget what everybody else is talking about, this man and this woman, and he sits down with her and says, this is what I'd expect. And if you don't do this, that means you're not my piece, and I will go out and have sex with somebody else. And if she stays at that point and be like, okay, I'm going to live up to these bogus standards, then I believe that she just told him, okay, this is basically your relationship. I'm just in it for the ride. Basically, that's what she's saying. So I understand, yes, you cannot dictate he cannot put his actions off on her, but at the same time, she has to own what she just allowed in this relationship, because it takes 2 to be in a relationship. So she could have easily just said, I'm not about to do that. Can no one just be anybody's piece all the time? So I'm not even about to agree to this. And she should just walk away.
Right. But see, again, this is where men also need to manage their expectations. Like, and we've talked about this. We talked about this not even 2 weeks ago. How many of these men are being raised to know what it's like to resolve conflict, communicate their needs, communicate assertively versus using passive aggressiveness and aggressive behavior and verbiage? Like, this is where we go back to, are we teaching the basic skills? Like a lot of these guys, they want to just be left alone. And it's like, you cannot be in a relationship and not learn how to relate to another person. Because let's just be honest, if we're going to really have the conversation, a lot of them are saying she's not my piece because when she says stuff like, I need to communicate this to you, or I need to say, what I feel in this moment, they automatically are processing that as, oh, she getting on my nerves. She asking for way too much. Yeah. I need men to step it up. I need y'all to learn how to relate to other human beings and use statements other than, well, I'm a man and most men don't. I get sick of hearing that. Like nobody came out of the womb being a man or a woman. We were all, newborns and infants. Like, you need to give yourselves more credit, men. Okay.
I'm not
like women.
Now, what I'm saying, I'm not agreeing. Like I said, I'm not agreeing with this, but I'm
definitely
understanding. I'm understanding where he comes from because I'm a man and I've been in those situations, and I think he has managed his expectations because, like him, at one point before me and my wife got together, when we did get together, and I told her, I said, well, we can try this, but hey, I'm probably gonna be cheating. At that point, she chose to walk away from me, and I couldn't find her, get in touch with her for a year.
Now let's explore that. though. Why would you say I'm probably going to be cheating? Like, because at that time you were not working on that behavior, right?
No, I was managing my expectations.
No. Answer my question. Was you working on the cheating behavior? Let me answer it for you. No. And see, this is the issue that I have with a lot of men. Y'all are trying to, when cuffing season come around, y'all trying to cuff women, knowing good well you ain't got no skills to relate to another person right now. You still out there, like just out there, being quote unquote a savage. You out there surviving, you getting in where you fit in, but you have no skills as it relates to being in a relationship. Like, you have to be able to relate to this woman outside of the bedroom. Like those days of quote unquote caveman days where you want to knock her over the head, drag her in there, and y'all freaking each other out. It's so much more than that. Like,
now I agree with you. You're not supposed to cheat or whatever, but I was just saying in this scenario, if a man is upfront about what he's going to do, in that scenario, I believe now he puts that onus on the woman.
I'm sorry, we monopolized the conversation.
Let's explore that a little bit because, like, I agree with you, Jovo, that everybody's 100% responsible for themselves. Like, your amount of integrity cannot be tied to what someone else does, right? But I think what Darwin is saying is that, not that it's okay, and I think he agrees with you, but I think he's saying, okay, well, here's a man who's upfront with you. Like, I mean, most guys probably aren't that upfront, right? But because Kevin Gates was talking about, he's going to tell his woman that, he cheated or whatever. And so, like, let's say a man is upfront with you. What would you say to a woman? What would you say to that woman who's listened to this guy say, you know what? When you start getting on my nerves, I'm going to cheat. Or I want to be with you, but I still want to be with other women. Like, what would you say to a woman?
Because this is the thing. Everybody has their idea of what they want their relationship to be like, right? So if he wants his relationship to be like that, then that's on him. Now it's up to her to agree to those terms. And if she agrees to it, they just, like you said, they just made a commitment to each other. Forget all the pastor and these vows. They just made a commitment to each other. This is what I'm going to do for you, baby. This is what you said. You want a relationship like this, X, Y, Z, blah, 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 blah. I just agreed to it. Now, I don't agree with those types of relationships or whatever. If I was a woman, I'd be like, nah, I'm not doing it. But it is some women, like out of whatever reason they have to agree to these types of terms. And a lot of women do agree to things that they really don't want because they see some type of good in the man or whatever the case may be. But you cannot really put that on the man all the time.
They fall for the trap. The thinking, again, going back to what I just said, that if I do this and I do this and I do this,
is the truth a trap though?
Yeah, no, I'm going to influence his behavior. They fall into that thought pattern of, I'm going to influence his behavior, and then I'm going to help him change his mind about what this really needs to be. And I'm telling sisters and ladies out there right now, quit trying to manipulate other people's thinking patterns. Like, you can't control that. If this man has told you that, hey, I like other people in our bedroom, and hey, I'm not going to always be faithful to you, and hey, when I go out of town, we ain't together. And they've actually said this to you. Stop trying to make this something that it's not.
Yeah.
Walk away.
Right. And I think Cannon talks on this.
That part I do agree with, girl.
I think Cannon talks on this a little bit. She talks about the scarcity mindset. And I think this relates to that a little bit. A lot of women just start to think, man, I'm not going to get another guy like this. I don't know why they would think they would get another guy like that. But maybe there's something about him. Maybe he has, you know, a certain job, or he looks a certain way, or, you know, whatever it is about him that they like. Maybe they think they won't find that in another man, or maybe they hurt so many times. Like,
but I also
think a bit of a scarcity mindset there.
I think that's part of it, but I also think that it depends on like where they are in the relationship as well. Like if they're married and like have children and have, you know, stuff all intertwined and tied up with each other, you know, it's especially for a woman, it's not like to just be like, oh, well, let me just leave. You know what I mean? Like, it's like people say that stuff all the time, but it's really not just that simple, you know, like to say that. And also we have to acknowledge that there is a difference in the way that relationships are viewed when men have children or even small children. Like a man can have a whole woman pregnant somewhere and be in a whole nother relationship, like it never, but you're not finna be walking around here pregnant, like in relationships with other men. You know what I mean? Like it's a difference. So I mean, like, and especially if you have like small children and things like that, like as a woman. So I think it kind of depends on also where they are in the relationship to just be like, oh, well, I don't want this relationship. I mean, that's where I think Ms. Jovo was coming in at, where the manipulation can come in at, because the question would become, was this something that was up front at the beginning of the relationship, or did it seep in some years later, or, you know, after the fact, after a couple kids then popped out, you know what I'm saying? And then it came out.
And I also think it's like a power thing too, and who has to leverage at the time that this relationship is started. Because I've seen men like that's the breadwinner and stuff like that, and the woman is not doing so well. So sometimes she does agree to these terms just so she can get by, right? And like kind of said, like maybe they're married, has kids and stuff like that, and she has the scarcity mindset. So she agrees to these terms, and it's not because for him, it's because the other things that she's getting out the relationship, she depends on a little bit more than all that sex stuff, right? And I'm seeing on the flip side when women get these bum dudes that's living with them, and the woman talking to them like crazy, you know what I'm saying? Shut up, and treating them like dogs and stuff like that, and putting them out every week. And the woman is just going off doing whatever she want to do. And a lot of people go, man, why are you taking it from him? Because he can't go nowhere. He's going to be homeless if he tries to, you know what I'm saying, talk back or whatever. So he's agreeing to terms that he really don't want to. So, and that's because she has the power, you know. So I think it's all about the leverage and the power that people hold over other people that make them go into these situations with that mindset, like, okay, I got to deal with this because I don't have nothing else to. It's that low self-esteem mindset, like I can't get nothing else, I have to do this and XYZ, you know. And I think, you know, this peace, this being a woman being my peace, I think that's just that should be the mindset of a wealthy man that's taking care of everything. You know, I don't think broke guys can really get away with that. You know, I go out and start cheating.
People can get away with that.
Well, if someone is making $30 million a year and he going out boning some chicks, I think a lot of women go be like, okay, cool.
I
you know,
think at the end of the day, people are gonna do what they want to do, period. And they use a lot of different things to justify their behavioral choices and make excuses for their behavioral choices. And at the end of the day, it's just who they want to be and it's what they want to do. Like, no one can make you be somebody you don't want to be. Like, if you want to be a faithful partner, then that's what you're going to be. If you don't, then you're not going to. And it doesn't matter who you with or what the person is doing or what they're not doing. You're still going to do what you want to do regardless. So, and I think people use all kinds of excuses to justify the shit that they do. Like that's just what they do. So, and then the other part is that, you know, you can't be talking about peace and all of this other stuff again while you out cheating. Like, if you taking energy outside of your relationship and you putting it elsewhere, then that's gonna be felt. And then you try to come back and you're like, you nagging, like and you study cheating, like, and then it like just keeps being a cycle where it's like, oh, now you upset, so let me go cheat some more, and it's like it just doesn't make any sense, and it's just again just trying to justify bad behavior by blaming somebody else for your choices.
Exactly.
And the other part is that, you know, it's all I can say is just, you know, just hope that people don't bring back no diseases. That's all I gotta say.
Okay.
And as it pertains to the guy that's sleeping on your couch, or the guy that was homeless when y'all got together, y'all need to lead the therapy and the social work into the social workers. Y'all out here trying to save lives and then turn these relationships into Hallmark movies. And I'm just like, look, like, you can't save people that they literally are putting themselves, they are self-sabotaging with every move that they make. You know, like the situation like I was telling y'all ladies, like you in the doghouse with your lady. So now all of a sudden, because you in the doghouse, oh my God, my character and my integrity has fell apart. So now I gotta be a dog. She done put me out. So now I gotta do what she say I'm doing. Okay, you just made a very minute problem in some instances, because a lot of things that we think are problems are not really problems. They're just misunderstandings. You have just created, sir, a bigger problem with your infidelity and with you choosing to cheat. And that's exactly what it is. It's a choice. Like, it's a choice. You know, I'm out here in the cold and I ain't got nobody. Stop. Just stop. Like, seriously. Everybody should be their own piece. Women be your piece. Men be your piece. Like, seriously.
Okay. Says the therapist. All right, y'all. I want to open up the lines for everyone to call in. If you want to call in, the number is 574-943-5971. Go ahead and call in to chime in on this topic. You can also join our live stream. You can join our live streem. I put the link in the chat. I'll go ahead and do it again so you all can join us. And then I also want you all to spend a little time liking this video and subscribing, y'all. We need your help to help this channel grow and get farther. All right, so make sure you like, comment, and share. And I want you all to also tell a friend, let people know about it, you know, talk about it. I want to remind you all of our clubhouses as well. All right. So Jovo actually had her first clubhouse this past Thursday. She comes on Clubhouse every second Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. Jovo, why don't you tell them a little bit about what you talked about?
That was some good stuff too.
We talked about patterns of codependency that is not, you know, too far from the conversation that we're having today, you know, about this, you know, people taking accountability for their actions. We come get this free therapy. Like, this is free stuff. Like last Clubhouse, it was a whole session and I didn't bill y'all for it. Come get this therapy.
It was some good stuff.
Yes. So we talked about codependency. I think my next topic is going to be setting boundaries. Like, we need to learn how to say no. We need to learn how to tell people no, thank you. And we need to learn how to set effective boundaries in our relationships and just in our lives in general. I.e., okay, babe, when I say we were open, it did not mean Y and Z. Like, you have to be able to communicate your needs and set some boundaries with people. So come see me. Okay, come see me in August. So that's what our next Clubhouse is going to be about.
All right, y'all. Every second Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. All right. We also have our girl, Real Talk with Raven. She couldn't be here tonight, y'all. She's working.
Hey, Raven.
Hey, girl. I know she's popping in and out watching. But Real Talk with Raven is on Clubhouse every last Monday of the month at 7 p.m. Eastern. Raven's last show was about unnecessary vanguards. All right. She talked a lot about, you know, what was she talked a lot about
like cults.
Different different groups.
Great conversation.
Yeah, and like
Yeah.
the impact of these types of cult like groups that we have on social media. All right. And that was really interesting. She needs to do a part two. We also have Mrs. Cannon Hill Clubhouse every third Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Conversations to push your thinking. Y'all know how Cannon is. She gonna make you think about some stuff, y'all. All right, so make sure you all follow us as well on our Facebook group. It's the Ladies Room Podcast group chat. All right, where we continue the conversation. All right, y'all. So let's go ahead and move on with our second topic for the day. All right. Should marriage contracts be renewable? Wiz Khalifa made a post about marriage contracts being renewable. All right. And so his idea or his question was, what do you all think about that? Like, what do you think about having a contract where, every so often, you can decide to let the contract just die out, or you can renew it. Well, I have my thoughts on it, y'all, but I want to know what you all have to say about this. Who wants to go first?
Well, me and my wife joked about this a couple of times about renewing contracts, and every 3 or 4 years we sit down and go over the terms of our next 3 or 4 years or whatever like that. So, um, but I really don't think it's necessary because I mean, you can decide to change at any moment that you want to. It's just about communication. I mean, me and my wife, we go to counseling and stuff like that. So I feel like that's a renewable thing when we go to counseling and we discover more things about each other, and then we just evolve with each other. So I believe if two people are together and they really become one with each other and they communicate and they really paying attention to each other, I think the relationship would be renewed as it goes on anyways. I think they're going to be changing together. They're going to be doing things together. They go, or they can separate, when they paths can go like this, you know what I'm saying? The more that they learn each other too. So it's and I think at that moment, whether you want to sit down and have a contract about it or not, it's happening regardless. Regardless if it's on a piece of paper. Your our marriage is steady being renewed every day that we wake up, and every day that we stand with each other, and every day that we saying we're going to continue this. I think it's being renewed all the time. So, but if they want to make it a business thing, I guess uh, I think a lot of celebrities and famous people think on the lines of this anyways, because they be really in it to make a lot of money, and they relationships give them access to money also. So, I think that's something that rich and famous people would want to just talk about, and see if this relationship is beneficial to the both of them. Because I think most of the time people in that industry gets with each other because it's like what the people want, and it's a popularity thing, and it gives them both access to different avenues of income and stuff like that. So I think people like that might want to do that.
Yeah. And then, Wiz Khalifa, you know, he's just one of those people that I won't say is jaded about marriage, but he's had certain comments about saying that marriage is a weird thing. I'm trying to find his comments, but basically, he's like a lot of people who are they're struggling trying to find meaning and value in marriage. So I think that's probably why, he would say something like that. But anyway, go ahead. What do you all think?
I think that I mean, again, that just sounds like a lot of extra work for no reason. I mean, the question just would become like, if you don't go and actively renew it, then does that mean it expires? And then like, it's just like another added headache to have to deal with. I mean, people are technically, again, renewing their marriages all the time, because you could always go and take the effort to dissolve marriage, whenever, right? So it's like adding where you just like have to go and like, let's renew this and think about this all over again. That just sounds like an extra added thing to have to do. That just sounds annoying. And when you're an adult, who the hell want anything extra? To like, you got to renew your driver's license, you got to renew your car registration. Ain't nobody trying to add no extra responsibility.
Yeah.
Like that just sounds like a headache.
Do you all think it has something to do with the fact that people don't value longevity as much? Like people see relationships like a revolving door, like, oh, I'm just in this relationship today, and
it's like the popcorn.
I'll be in another one.
It's like the popcorn society at this point. Like everything is new, quick, whatever. Like longevity, no, it doesn't. I don't think that people value longevity at all. I think that people are more. It's difficult to hold people's attention for very long, and people are always looking for the next best exciting thing or whatever, that next thrill, that next, you know.
It seems like we don't know how to love each other. And I know, Jovo, you were kind of hinting on this earlier. Like we aren't learning how to communicate and love, forgive. And
that's too much work, baby.
Like there's so many other things that we should be talking about, right?
Yeah.
Right. But we don't talk about. Like we talk about. These are the things we talk about. We keep talking about on social media who pays for the first date. Earlier today, I saw a post. That's an old post. It keeps asking women if they would choose a ring over a wedding, or a big house over a big wedding, or if they would date the man that makes $35,000 a year, or it's always
like all these cursory, superficial relationship things. As opposed
they sound like the stuff that I used to sit around and talk about with my girlfriends in college because I didn't know. And then once I got into marriage, it was like, oh, I gotta stay around when I don't get my way. Man, why y'all didn't tell me? Or I gotta love, like really love, like even when I'm mad. Oh my God. Why y'all didn't tell me? Like, it's a lot of work for a lot of people. They just don't want to admit it. That's the thing. Like when the wedding is over, the reception is over, and you got to get up and go back to work, and y'all got to establish a routine with each other. Nobody wants to talk about how hard and difficult it can be.
Yeah, so, and it could get monotonous. It could get mundane. It's very difficult to, keep. Again, it's
the feedback that I get is ridiculous. Like a lot of people, I have been told that I am foolish because I've been with the same person for 20-some years.
People told you that?
Yes, I have been told that I'm missing out on life because I've been with the same person for so long. I have been, Darwin, I've been told numerous times that, oh man, it just seems like you're in a controlling situation. I'm in a controlling situation because I choose to honor my duty over X, Y, and Z right now in my life. I don't get it. Like people are so afraid of not getting what they want that they don't want to put in the work. If that makes sense. Like people are so afraid. What if it doesn't come out the way that I want it to come out? Should I be putting in all this work? This is what you signed up for. Like, what did you think this was going to be? Like, it's crazy. And if you really sit down, I was looking at, online, the top steps for renewing a contract. We already do this being married people, communicating and building a strong relationship with your business partner. If you're married and you're not doing that, you need to start doing that.
Well, a lot of people are not.
Yeah. Or weighing out pros and cons, or how you're going to, grow each other, how you're going to grow your family, how you're going to grow your business if you are, in business with each other, or your legacy. Like these are the conversations married people probably need to be having that people do actually have when you talk about contract and renewal. So that's why this topic is so funny to me, because should marriage contracts be renewable?
But you just made me
talking about.
But you just made me kind of change my opinion. So maybe it is necessary because
you're already doing it. You just don't know it because
but a lot of times people are not doing it, right?
They're not, and that's the problem.
How common is it for people to stop communicating over?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just like slowly,
But
gradually.
doesn't having, so I kind of see it from more of like a Christian standpoint. So because when I think marriage, I'm thinking obviously there's a contract, right? And you have to be smart about who you marry, right? And money is important, finances are important, all types of things are important, right? Practical things are important, right? But then I'm like, okay, once you decide this is the person you want to marry, you go before God and you make that commitment. So is having a renewable contract like a dishonor to God? Because it's like this
Well, let
doesn't
me
really say, oh, I'm not really committed to this.
But Miss Jovo just changed my mind. In a more practical sense, it could force people to be more engaged in their relationships and be more intentional, because a lot of times those things can fall to the wayside over time. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a very gradual thing that happens over years, and then people look up and they ain't had a real conversation in 2 years with each other, you know, and just kind of get into
I mean, I get that. I get practical reasons for it.
Yeah.
No,
so let's talk about
what would you all say? I know, Candy, you're not, you know, a believer, but Jobo, like, what would you say?
Let's talk about the difference between a covenant, okay, and a contract. A contract is an agreement with you and another party, okay? A covenant is where you and your partner, and when, you know, we talk about Christianity, because I made a covenant with my husband in front of God. A covenant is an agreement that you and him are making with God. You see what I'm saying? And so when we make an agreement with each other, okay, that's our contract, okay? Like, we're agreeing to, you know, he wants this, I want this. We're making that agreement. But then when you start talking about covenant is when two individuals, you know, my higher power is God. We're making a pledge to our higher power that we're going to honor.
I don't like where that's going.
That we
I don't like where that's going right there, Miss Joe.
Well, I'm just like, hey, I'm just telling you the truth. Like, people get covenant and contract mixed up a lot, you know. And a covenant and a contract are not the same thing. Covenant means you were pledging, meaning that no matter what's going on and what happens, you and your husband are agreeing to do this as it relates to the word of God, Ashley. So, but contract is those things that you and him
what I'm saying
have between each other.
But let's say a couple, they've been married for, let's say, 10 years, 7 years, 5 years, whatever, right? And it's that time to decide whether or not they want to,
like, the anniversary.
There's this time there's the time where they have to decide whether or not they want to keep the contract. They decided they don't want to keep the contract. So that means the covenant is gone, or you didn't honor the covenant, right?
That's right.
Okay.
When you know, this the thing, right? Like, I tell people what I love about my wedding anniversary. I complain about it sometimes, but I love it. Like, me and my husband, we have these discussions. And I remember right before we hit the 10-year mark, we used to joke about, okay, we need to you up for a performance review, I'm up for a performance review. And on the 10th anniversary, we're gonna see who been doing what, like, and if we agree to stay together. At first, we made a joke out of it. But I can honestly say, with every year that we've been married, we talk about strengths and weaknesses that we have with each other, what each other needs to work on. And I'm usually the one to, like, probe that conversation to say, what do you want to see different in me this year? You know, what do I, you know, these are the things I want to see different in you. Like, that's why I said there are married couples who have these discussions on a consistent basis. They may not necessarily use the verbiage contract or agreement, but they're actually reviewing with each other, okay, these are your strengths and these are your weaknesses. However, when we talk about covenant and people making a covenant before God, you're pledging to God that you're going to be committed to this relationship. Ain't no contract in that, you know. And that's the part where, you know, and I don't, you know, my thing is, I tell y'all all the time on the show, if we're going to talk about the word of God, let's talk about it as it's there. You know, because a lot of people use the word to manipulate what they wanted to say. I took my marriage vows very seriously, where when the pastor said, this is the pledge, this is what you're making towards God, I took that to heart, which means that even when my partner, those thoughts and feelings, when he's not holding up his end of the covenant, if I'm not communicating my needs and I'm not saying, hey, this is a violation of the covenant that we made with God, if I'm not communicating that, and I'm not saying that out loud, that's a problem. That's a problem in marriage. And that goes right back to what we were saying earlier today. You have to communicate.
But do you think a lot of people that uses that covenant aspect of it as making a commitment with God, do you think? I think a lot of people take more advantage of that than they do with the contract that they make with a person, because like they can always repent, ask God for forgiveness, and in talking, they're scared of God more in talking, like, oh, God can do this, God to do that, his wrath, this and that. But then the next day they'll go and do some bogus stuff and keep repeating the same cycle. But in the back of the head, they're like, I know this is wrong. I know, but at the end of the day, I always got that merciful God and I can repent this and that. But with your partner, you make that contract with them, they can really make some things happen for your ass. You know, you mess.
Well, I mean, it depends. I mean, in my mind, and the way that I approach when I tell people, you know, I do a lot of wifing, and what that means to me, that's verbing, is I'm holding up my covenant to God, meaning that what I agreed on my wedding day that I was going to do, I'm going to do this. The hard part with a contract and with a covenant for both is that you have to fulfill your duties even on those days that you don't want to. Now, in our society, we have normalized people saying, oh, okay, if I'm doing something that I don't want to do, that means the other person is taking advantage of me. No, that's not what that means. Okay, that's just like your job. Ashley don't want to be in the classroom or in that school all 180 days she got to be there. But guess what Ashley does? When it's time for her to get up and go to work and to work with these kids and to teach, she has a plan put into place. She's going to do what she needs to do. And that's how people need to approach marriage. You know, that's just it. A lot of people are trying to reinvent something where the blueprint has been set out, the basic blueprint. Now, you know, open this and that and the third, if that works for you, hey, whatever. I know for me, I'm under a covenant with God. And what God told me when I said I do, you know, you're going to have to be a wife even when you don't want to be a wife, right? And see, that's the part where people are shying away from. That's the part. Because
I think Michael Jordan kind of has something like that in his marriage. I don't know if you want to call it a renewable contract, but for every year that she stays married to him, she gets like an extra $3 million or $5 million. So I think that's kind of like something like that, like some. So I think they've been married for like
some people need like some people need that gratification of something tangible, like what you mentioned, money. For me, I tell everybody all the time, if anything, God forbid anything happened with me and my husband, if it came down to a situation where we walked away from each other, for me, the consolation prize is knowing that I did everything in my power to keep my covenant with my higher power, whom I choose to call is God. That's it for me. Like, and I kept it, because I gotta also remember, because we talk a lot on this show too about what we're teaching our kids. I have a daughter here at home. And so how she sees me honor my marriage, not just a father, but honor marriage, that's going to influence how she looks at relationships and commitments as well. So that's the other part of this conversation. I think everybody has a level of motivation when it comes to, am I holding up my end of the bargain when it comes to, you know, marriage and relationships?
I was just thinking, and I don't even really know, but I don't think no one really knows what they're taking on when they get married, right? I don't think you could just sit there and be like, okay, when I get married, I'm going to be like this, I'm going to be like that, I'm going to do this, because I think you have to encounter certain things to see what you're made of. And I don't think you can just look at someone else's marriage, even if you grew up in a home with your mother and your father, because a lot of times, a lot of the big things are hidden from the kids. I will hope they are, right? I will hope they're not bringing these problems to the kids. And come sit down. Let me tell you what me and your mama going through today. So I don't think they really know. So I don't think when people get married, like you said, they don't really know what they're taking on.
Right.
But I think they should know, if they know the level of commitment and the level of integrity that they have in themselves, and they say to themselves, like, I don't care what I'm about to take on, I'm going to stay. You know what I'm saying? Because you never know what's going to happen. You know, like I said, your wife can get into a car accident, be paralyzed for the rest. Are you going to stay? You're going to stay married? So I don't think no one really knows what they're going to get into when they get married.
Yolanda,
So
And at the same time, I think that people underestimate what children emulate or what children see too, because a lot of times we do end up repeating patterns from what we grew up with and what we saw in the household, and a lot of things are more subtle than just, it don't have to be like big blow up arguments and stuff like that, but your kids are still gonna fashion their behavior based on what they see you do, and I think a lot of us tend to underestimate that in relationship. A lot of times we fashion as much as we be like, I'm not gonna be like this, and I'm not, and then we turn around and find out we doing a lot of the same stuff, repeating the same behavior, because
but there's
it's
also
like,
kids that
it's
are nothing like their
what we
parents
learn.
and they live with their parents. So I mean, it on both ends. In your behavior, you can mimic your parents and behavior and stuff like that, but you still don't know what you would actually, your mind, you don't know what your mind is going to actually tell you to do in that moment of of the time that you're about
I
to
think
make a
it's gonna
decision.
tell you what you've been conditioned for it to tell you. Like that's what I mean, and that's what I think the environment is, the conditioning. So it's like you would tend to, your mind is gonna tend to emulate what you've seen, like different ways you've seen things be handled and different actions that you've seen happen. I think that's what your mind will tell you to do, and I think we underestimate that a lot.
That's why I say
these new
marriage
kids,
is
something wrong with them, man.
That's
Wait,
why
one
I say
second,
marriage is an
guys.
evolution.
1 second, you all. I want to shout out a few people in the chat. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Robbie. There's so many of you
Yo,
consistently come and watch the show, and we appreciate you all. Thank you for all the new folks out there. Thank Yolanda Elkins. Thank you. I don't know if
I love your comment, Yolanda, because
Yo.
I was gonna read her comment.
Yeah.
Love is sacrifice. People don't want to deny themselves of anything anymore.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
She ain't lying, because
they don't want to make no sacrifice.
Like, it's literally people out there, and that's why I'm very selective on who I choose to really discuss marital stuff with. Like, I'm becoming selective about who I say certain things to, because there are literally people out there who will tell you, what do you mean duty? And what do you mean, oh, you couldn't do this because you had to do this for your family or whatever? They will look at you like you got 3 horns growing out your forehead. Like, what is wrong with you? And it's like, there's nothing wrong with me. I have a commitment. I have a sense of duty to uphold. Wow. Even on the rainy days, even on the days where I have a lot of other stuff going on, I'm still part of a family unit. I'm still somebody's wife. I'm still somebody's mama. That's just it. That's all of it. And she right. People don't want to sacrifice. They're afraid of losing themselves. But I got a clubhouse for that too, on how to be a wife and be yourself. Like, people, that having to balance things, that scares a lot of people. It creates anxiety. And I get it, but it can be done.
I agree. All right, y'all, good stuff. I want to make sure that everyone knows they can call into the show. The number is 574-943-5971. All right, I'll also post this in the comment section. You can also join our live stream. All right, so I posted that in the comment section as well. So come on, visit us if you have something that you want to say about any of these topics. All right. Again, y'all gotta support our channel so we can continue to grow. I want you all to like and comment, share, with some friends, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. All right, so that our channel can grow, y'all. All right, so we moving right along. We're gonna go ahead to this next topic. All right. This next topic is, why is there so much criticism of Angela Simmons' natural body? All right. So getting ready for this one, I want to show you all a recent photo of Angela Simmons that struck a lot of conversation. All right, this is the most recent photo. She wore a bikini. Angela Simmons prides herself on having a natural body. All right, she has been very open, with her body, her self-image. She says I've kind of always walked to my path, which was loving yourself where you're at. I think sometimes people put a lot on themselves when it comes to having a perfect body. There's so many things that affect our bodies and where we're at the moment, but I've just learned to kind of roll with it. When it comes to body positivity, it starts mentally, all right? And that's where I got everything for my built, not bought brand, all right? So she has a very, average looking body, right? And to me, I think she looks good,
You got an above average looking body. Ain't no average about that body, Yachty. What you talking about? Average body. Ain't no average body. Okay?
Exactly, Cannon. Exactly.
Let me read some of these comments. So she had, unfortunately, a lot of negative comments. Somebody said, in one comment, they said, I wish I had not seen that. Someone else said something along the lines of, here, I'll show it for you guys.
Are these heterosexual?
Who knows? Somebody says, I got 2 cases of beer, lots of flour in a paper sack. I'm ready to test. Well, I think that was a little different, but somebody said, I just set the internet ablaze. More like she sent everyone on the internet running away to rinse their eyeballs. Someone said, I see nothing wrong with the pictures. I think she was very beautiful. So she had a mix of comments, right? But why do you all think there was such negative?
Because I think that people used to seeing some weird fake ass Photoshop bodies that are not like it. And I mean, it's crazy because her body looks good. Like, what do you even like? It looks good. So I don't know, like, what they're looking at. Like, is it just like you need everything to be Photoshop now? Like, you need the color to be perfectly this way, and I don't know. I don't know what they're complaining about. Because I mean,
people getting on my nerves. I'm sorry. I love y'all. Subscribe to our channel, but y'all getting on my nerves. Some of y'all, like, here y'all are. Not even a month ago. Oh my God, look at Lil' Kim. Like, she's had so much work done. Oh my God, this is horrible. And now here we are. We have I'm an Angela Simmons fan, by the way. I'm a Rev Run family fan, period. Like,
I used to watch that.
I mean, with the Kardashians now, we trying to get back to being the white people.
Y'all like
I don't understand.
I like Angela and them. And what I appreciate about her, she has a show on Aspire. If y'all haven't looked at it, check it out. Really good show. She is sharing. She's literally being transparent and sharing her journey on what it's been like for her to birth a child, what it has been like and raise a child, what has it been like to lose the father of that child, what it's been like growing up as a PK, because we got to remember she's a preacher's kid. And there's a whole narrative behind that. What it's been like for her, she's even been transparent about her biological parents separating, Rev Run separating from his first wife. Like, here we are, okay, and y'all know who I'm talking to, my homeboys in the manosphere. Here's this woman who is being submissive. She is working out. She is taking care of her mental health, her physical health, her spiritual health. She's doing all this stuff that y'all preach about on all of y'all channels, okay? And then she wants to show her body. Oh, now it's a problem because it doesn't meet all these unrealistic standards that y'all put.
But I need to know what the standards are. What are the
Exactly.
standards?
They don't even know what the standards are.
That's what they're seeing.
They don't know what the standards are because they don't want Lil' Kim, but they don't want Angela Simmons, but then they don't want me and you either, or Jovo. Where it's like they don't know what they want.
I don't know.
She knows what she wants, and she's showing y'all what she wants because she put in the work for their body. Like, she looks great. Okay, exactly like V Lester. What's up, V Lester? People used to seeing fake and body parts, and that's what it is. We have got.
But even with that, what I'm saying is, like, I don't see, like, she doesn't even look that, like, if you look at like a Nicki Minaj body, like, how's her body that drastically? I'm just trying to figure out what they're looking at.
Well,
like,
I think because you gotta remember, like,
her body is very different from Nicki Minaj's body.
Because she's so confident with it.
But people like are used to hiding the cellulite. Hey Rush, I see you back there. 1 second, I'll bring you on.
But there was a bunch of cellulite. I need to look at this picture again.
y'all would have looked at
That's what I
Cedric.
was literally looking at.
Yeah, they're used to airbrushing everything, hiding the pores. We talked about this.
Yeah.
And Angela Simmons looks good, but if you put her next to a lot of these other girls who are photoshopped, the stomachs are smaller. There's no cellulite. You know, the boobs are bigger, and it's different. Like I think
That's
she
weird,
looks
man.
good,
She looks great. When I saw that photo, I was like, man, listen, girl, you better
So y'all know this don't have nothing to do with how she looks, right?
come on,
When it comes
Come
to the
on with
men, when it comes to the men, it has nothing to do with how she looks. This has everything to do with this woman is motivated to looking good on her own without having to buy it, and can't nobody one really say she bought it. These men have nothing to say bad about her, so they have to make it seem like she's popped or this body is deformed looking or something like that. Listen, I'm telling you, I messed with a woman before that had like a butt job. I would never encourage my wife to get a butt job or nothing done to her. If my wife ever mentioned this shit, I'd be like, nah, because it doesn't feel the same. Don't nobody want all of that, right? We've been in Atlanta and we've seen these women in public on TV. It looks okay, but in public, oh my God, it is horrible, right? So this is a woman who you can't. Her body looks good. It doesn't look as good as a lot of these women who get their bodies done on TV. It like if you put photos next to each other, okay, but in real life, I bet you Angela Simmons looks way better than those Build-A-Bear women, and especially probably naked. You know what I'm saying? She probably looks better because all of that work, that stuff don't be looking right. It barely looks right in clothes. So out of clothes, it's gonna be looking like a hot mess, right? And for the women that has a problem with it, it's all about jealousy, right? Because most women either got their body done or wants to get their body done. And the fact that this woman has worked hard in the gym to get her body looking right, these women are mad about it. Like, and they're just jealous because they don't have the willpower to go and actually put in the hard work to get a body that looks like hers, or they have gotten the work done, and the guys can still have something to, I bought them titties for you, or you bought that ass, you look how you look before, and this and that. So she looks good to me. She got a couple of
be like, let me get me some cornbread.
But a lot of the men that I seen come in on it, I was just looking like, oh my God, y'all definitely talking about somebody.
What's your diet? Because
I was y'all talking about somebody's body. Like me,
eat some more.
I don't even feel right talking about a woman's body because I'm not where I want to be, but this woman is getting to where she wants to be, and you got something to say about that. That's crazy. Yeah. But it's a lot more haters in this world than congratulators. So.
But yeah, y'all, we got Rush online, and we got Robbie, y'all. We got
Robbie in the building. Hey, ladies.
Yo, what's good? What up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What up?
It's been a while since I came through. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, let's Rush go, and then we're going to start girl Robbie. Go ahead, Rush. What you have to say about this?
Females that go under the knife, obviously they're trying to seek attention from different men. I mean, and it is what it is. Like they're gonna go to the extreme to go under the knife to alter their body to get a certain type of male attention. Personally, they all look the same to me. Because a lot of these doctors, they kind of use the same tricks to alter these females' bodies. So a lot of them do look alike. I mean, like they kind of look like androids.
Let me get that number 8, right?
Well, not to that. I'm not altering my body. I'm just getting a haircut. We talking about
No, I know. I'm just saying that's how the women go to the shop.
Right. They all kind of like look the same, and yeah, they will say smart remarks towards females that actually work out and preserve their bodies in a good manner instead of just going under the knife. I mean, So, people like Angela Simmons will catch smoke from females that go under the knife because, like there is a form of resentment. Like they would have to go under the knife to obtain the level of aesthetics as like Angela Simmons. I mean,
Yeah. Okay. I get that. And what you think, Robbie?
I think this is why they ain't never gonna have no money, ain't never gonna have no chicks. Because people need to stop hating on Angela Simmons. That girl been in the gym all her life. Like we watched her from Red Run when she was super skinny and she felt like she was overweight and she went in the gym and she busted it out. And she has sculpted her body however she wanted it to be. And truth be told, everybody can sculpt their body. If your boobs is saggy, go to the gym. Do some of these, hit it one. Hit it twice, pump them up. You know what I'm saying? You can work out and carve your body, but everybody's lazy. Everybody wants instant gratification. That's why we see so many people with body augmentations nowadays. And I kind of agree with Rush. Everybody kind of looks the same. You got the overinflated butt that don't match the thighs. Like these doctors not even sculpting the booty cheeks to the thighs. They ain't putting no finesse on it. Shout out to Dr. Miami though. Dr. Miami do that. You got everybody whose breast is sitting up here. Nobody's even getting a natural little teardrop. Get your little teardrop, a little teardrop. That's what I had heard. I had heard that the men like the teardrop because it's natural. You want your tummy to be flatter, do some crunches. You could do some crunches laying in the bed. Grab you up the 2 10-gallon jugs of water. Hold them on your chest. Do some crunches. Activate them muscles. I don't know. Or just be comfortable in the skin you in. Hell, if you like to eat, you like them donuts and them ho-hos. You like them fried chicken, girl. What you gonna go get a surgery? You gonna eat the same way you been eating, and you gonna have to go get another surgery, and your money don't last that long. And
the fat gonna start going to different places because once they remove them fat cells from certain places, they go to like weird places. Like your ankle's gonna be fat.
Right, you're gonna have cankles, you're gonna have jowls and stuff. You're gonna be looking real crazy in the face.
Oh, and Ron, not even the women who don't listen to the aftercare recommendations made by the doctors. That is a whole problem. Like black women are coming up with, all these different health concerns and other problems because they're not listening to the doctors after they have the surgery.
That part, y'all traveling around to go get these surgeries because you trying to shop for the best option. You can't lay flat on your behind when you in the plane. You got to sit on that thing. You can't sit on a donut for 7, 8, 10 hours and all type of stuff. Is you crazy? What you gonna do? Lay down on the airport floor and put your face on the floor, your booty in the air? People getting breast implants, not even realizing that every 10 years you gotta
let her finish and then jump in, Rush.
Yes, I found that out about them boob jobs that you gotta do like maintenance on them every 10 years.
Every 150,000 miles, every 150 rotations, you gotta change your tire. So a lot of women don't even got the money. They're not saving the way to do that tire change. What's really good? Like people stupid to me.
That's why I be looking bogus after a while.
Right, all lopsided, falling all over the place, inside out, inverted, nipples looking crazy. You go maintenance.
Rush, what were you gonna say? Rush, you there?
You muted, Rush.
Yeah, I'm here. I just didn't want to overtalk anybody. You know what I mean? But one thing I noticed that females that go under the knife, because I dealt with this chick that went under the knife, she was always sick. You know what I mean? And a lot of times when you put that kind of material in your body try to pushes that material out your body or whatever, and because it's not going nowhere, it's not exiting the body or whatever, like it remains within her within her system or whatever, it keeps that individual sick all the time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, females that go under the knife to make these kind of moves, man, like they shouldn't they should consider the pros and cons that what comes with it. You know what I mean? Not just to focus on the end product, like, getting the attention after, altering your body like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because your body has a force field. It rejects bad things.
Yeah. I love that Angela Simmons is countering the examples that we have. Like we just talked about this last week, right? We talked about how there are just so many fake images that are making girls and women think that they are just not pretty enough or look good enough, but they're measuring themselves up to
But
someone
that's still no. We're not gonna get We're not gonna give Angela Simmons credit for that. Because again, I don't care what these dudes is talking about. That is body yachty. Okay. I need to see some real regular bodies. I need to see some regular bodies. Okay. I need to see some flat butts. I need to see some little pudgy stomachs. Like I need to see some real bodies out here. Okay.
Angela Simmons is
Most
thick.
people's bodies is not looking like Angela's. That is not a regular body. I don't care what these dudes is talking about. Okay. That is
she's natural. She's all natural, and I love that. I love that.
But like Robbie said, she put in work for that body. Like that, I mean,
I'm telling y'all, like her whole first
unnatural level of work and effort into that body. I'm sure she got personal.
These people are used to. I think it's because of the
trainers. You know what I'm saying? She coached.
This girl had trainers. She had therapists. She kept food journals.
All types of stuff. I'm saying I want to see some real bodies. Okay, I want to see some working at Kroger bodies. Okay, that's what I want to see out here. I'm sick.
I think people are doing it like I know they bogus, but I would think that people are probably looking at these workout women that's on like Instagram and Facebook and stuff like that with the real flat stomachs and the nice and they doing these videos, but even most of those women have had work done to their body, and since they have this work done, they're going on Instagram now and being a sex symbol in the gym now. You know what I'm saying? So because you can see they're not even really doing real workouts. And like I know,
but sometimes a lot of these Instagram models, quote unquote Instagram models, they get these kind of work done within their body because it's a form of investment to get a return. I mean, a lot of times these females, they will finance these surgeries in order to get to alter their body just because of the kind of profession they're in, whether if they're a stripper, sex worker, whatever. I mean,
and I think people are looking at them and then trying to compare her to them when this is just a picture, and she's just taking a picture of a natural body. It's no makeup, so you're going to see some discoloration. You're going to see some, a little dimple and this and that. But that's how a natural body's supposed to look. I mean, even people that's fit and smaller than her has little dimples and stuff like that and discoloration.
Well, I mean, but here's the thing: if you're gonna project to the world of your flaws of your body, it's this what comes with it with social media. I mean, it's the same that people is making fun of her body. I don't think there's nothing wrong with Angela's body. I mean, I think she looks immaculate, but not everybody's going to share that opinion that what I have towards her body. I mean, and on top of that, it's natural.
But that's when it comes into play that I think people need to understand what they're used to seeing is they're not seeing real bodies. Like even with the people getting the work done and stuff, they're still not showing their real bodies. They're photoshopping, they're having filters, all of that other stuff. Because again, when you see these people in person, their bodies do not look like what they be looking like in the Photoshop pictures that they putting all over Instagram.
Right.
So, it be all types of dimples and
look at the pictures they caught Kim K in. Them pictures that she got caught in at the beach when her legs is all skinny and stuff like that. Like she had major work done to her body, and people still look at her like she has a great, but like that body is horrible.
Like I think people really need to go because it's like certain accounts that will have Photoshop versus real photos. I think people need to spend more time looking through those, and then you will see that these people don't even look like like nobody looks like that. Even the people who are purporting to look like that don't even look like that. And we need to understand.
And it's funny you say that because certain dudes that would link up with a lot of these IG models to fly them out or whatever, like they would get catfished because of the filters that they would use to disperse their image online. I mean, so there is a lot of catfishing that's going on online. I mean, which is a fact.
Online, but it's been built up over decades because it started with the magazines. right?
But is that really catfish though? Because when you look at her in her videos and when you look at her in her clothes, she still looks the same. I think what a lot of people don't realize is lighting matters. If you're if you're using a flash on a photo, you're gonna get negative and positive exposure. Because I'm looking through her Instagram and she has videos where her body looks the same with no filters on the video. I mean, well, not the same as the pictures, of course, but her body looks good and smoothed out. And I can tell you myself, if I don't adjust my lighting the right way, sometimes my skin will look a little bit off how it looks in reality. Also, I think it's just the fact that her bathing suits are too small. Ma'am, you might as well come on outside naked. Hell, go for it. Put a pasty
I
on
was
your
thinking
bush.
that too.
Put a pasty on the
That top
ninnies
part.
and yeah, call it a day. The top part, the bottom part too. I done seen a lot of women wear a lot of bathing suits and a lot of bikinis. And what I ain't never seen down to the streets is it just covering a little landing strip of hair. It's usually covering the whole V.
Isn't that the new style though?
That seems to be the
I think
trend
that's
right
the
now.
new style of a bikini because I bought a couple of them in my set and it was real small. And I was like, what is going on?
Now size up, please.
I think the gist of it is people just used to seeing the Photoshop versions of everybody, the makeup, she could choose a better wardrobe. Not even in the bathing suits. I don't like her wardrobe. Period. Even when she's fully dressed, but but she has her own little style, so I guess it's working for her when it comes to the fashion industry. But how it looks on her, I'd be like, oh, why are you wearing that? But she's a pretty girl and she has a nice body. People are just hating. That's what I just think people are just hating, women and the men. Men. Any man that's hating on her, they will date her and they will smash her. So I don't even be listen. Like I told y'all ladies before, I don't listen to nothing these dudes be talking about. They just talking. They will smash her in a heartbeat.
Facts. Did y'all see when she got the oil body scrub, sugar salt scrub?
Yeah.
That was her natural body without all that.
I didn't see it. Post it, please.
I'm telling you, watch her show on Aspire. Like her first season, she did a complete breakdown of how she got her body back right. And I appreciate her transparency about growing up on TV, about all these different struggles she's had. And so now it's like, I don't want to look like what I've been through.
Can you imagine that's a grown woman body and she was trying to talk to Lil Bow Wow. He got a little boy body. That's what
no. Little Bow Wow was trying to holler at her. Little Bow Wow was trying to holler at her.
She was entertaining that, but she was entertaining him a little bit.
Little Bow Wow and Lil Romeo.
Growing up hip hop, she entertaining the nigga every season. I was mad at her. I was like, why is she still entertaining this little nigga? Like he still got a little kid body. They don't want to talk about him, but then they want to talk about her. She got a grown woman body. Like, is that making no sense?
But she knew what she was doing. That's why she had them dudes that she had. She said, I'm going to be nice. This is my childhood friend. I ain't going to hurt his feelings. Yep. See, we can't even be nice as women. We be being nice to dudes. Like, go on ahead, live. I'm going to let you flirt. There they go.
Women could be pretty harsh at times, majority of times, women sit down guys pretty ruthlessly, you know what I mean? I guess I don't want to change the subject matter.
They better stop this. Times is changing.
All right, y'all. We're going to move on from this topic. That was a good one. Thank you all for watching. For those of you who have not done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. All right. We got to go ahead and move on. Our last topic, y'all. Our last one.
Uh-oh.
So, can we really teach our kids to be colorblind? Colorblind as in...
Now you want to get all intellectual. You always come.
Look, we just here to talk about BBLs to colorblindness. I love it. Only on the ladies' room.
Right. Look, Ashley always wait till I get up here. Then she won't bring the deep topics. I'm up here trying to act up, cut up.
All right. Can we really teach our kids to be colorblind? Meaning to not see color or race, right? Or color as in like black and white, Asian, whatever. Now, I thought of this question only because of a recent video that surfaced where Sesame Place I guess, which I don't know if they're connected with Sesame Street. I'm assuming so.
They are.
You know, did something, not the whole organization, but one of their employees did something that was very upsetting and questionable and very just mean, right? To two little Black girls. All right. So, and I'll let you all see the video. Hopefully it'll be apparent the connection I'm trying to make, but I'll explain after. So here is a video of what happened. Sorry, y'all. Got rid of my plan. Okay. Let me stop. Do y'all see it?
We see ads.
Horn will now undergo special training
see it?
as part of the park's response to a now viral video that was posted online over the weekend. You may have seen this video. It was posted by a mother showing a character there at the park appearing to ignore her young girls who are Black. They were asking for high fives there. The woman who posted that video said the costume character went on to hug a white girl right there in the area. Well, several new videos have since surfaced appearing to show similar incidents with that very same character. After an initial statement calling that incident a misunderstanding, the park issuing an updated statement acknowledging that what happened is not okay and committed to making things right. The children's mother talked about what happened this afternoon, saying she's heartbroken.
All right, so I'm gonna play that one little part just for people who probably didn't catch it.
It was posted by a mother showing a character there at the park appearing to ignore her young girls who are Black. They were asking for high fives there. The woman who posted that video said the costume character went on to hug a white girl right there in the area. Well, several.
All right, so did you all see anything particularly wrong about the character's action? I just
Hell yeah, he waved them off like no mas.
Something.
He said, "Move around."
Okay, because that's what I thought too.
That would have been the day you would have called me viral on these internet streets because
did you all know
my baby like that? Like
the crazy part is when you do your research behind Sesame Street, it was meant to target. It was created by It was created to target inner city kids of color.
Yeah.
And so for this to happen, it's just like y'all would have seen the non-therapeutic side of Miss JoJo.
I'm telling you, like I couldn't imagine my baby
what we're not gonna do.
Hey, buddy. Yeah. Hey,
we're not gonna do that.
I saw a clip. I'll try to find that clip again. Baby, wherever they was, it was somebody else's mama. And they try to pull that. It was in the middle of New York City. They try to pull it. Baby was like, grabbed up the sisters. What did you give him a hug? What is wrong with you?
Exactly. I'm telling you, like that's literally what it would have been. Like, and I didn't see you high fiving and all these other little kids. You gonna get to my baby and try to excuse me. I'd have been following you for blocks. You better stop playing.
I'm telling you that part. Like, I know you see me following you. Like, how you just gonna diss my child like this?
Like real talk. Like, no.
Now, was it racial? Do you think that it was racially connected?
Absolutely.
I thought the same thing too. And then I looked at it again and I was like, okay, he started kind of doing this to the little white girl before.
No, I think that it was because he high-fived the little white girl. And then it was more, they had to change their stance because there were more videos of that same.
That same character, exactly.
So maybe one time it maybe could be some kind of
weird. I don't know if y'all follow Sean King on Instagram, but Sean King, he did the video he has on his page has like 3 incidents, including that one, where that same character was ignoring children of color.
I just want to know who they be hiring. Who they be hiring to have inside the dang on inside the body. So
right. Because let me find out you hiring people who wear masks in other instances to wear your mask, if you know what I'm saying.
I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've been dealing with a situation with I've been dealing with a
My bad.
situation with some race. That's okay. With some racist people on this platform that's not of us, but want to act like they of us. So don't act like you of us when it's beneficial, and then in situations like that, try to be shady. One of them same types did a video talking about some is Rosalie the Muppet racist. When is racism overplayed? You ain't black, so don't you ever talk about when racism is overplayed. Stay in your lane.
Place. You don't decide that. Let us black people argue about that. Like what you talking about?
Exactly. Because you know everybody think they got to be a part of every conversation, and it's like, look,
Right, you ain't black, so you can't identify. You don't know
right.
what racism
You don't
is.
have this
Exactly.
experience.
Man, your
Exactly.
business.
No, Ashley,
Stay
I
in
think
your
I
lane.
think that was a racially motivated behavior. Like it's disgusting, and you know that.
I mean,
And
from
if
looking
it
from
wasn't, why would they issue that statement?
They had to change it.
Right. I mean, I'm not right. I mean, Rush, what were you gonna say?
yeah, I mean that footage looked real bad. You know, obviously, you know, because a lot of times people will take certain footage that they think that will go viral, and you know, it becomes a big deal. You know, we don't know what happened or what this individual that's working as under this costume was told on how to handle, um, you know, how to handle the different crowd control as such. And I mean, so like for me, like I can't just sit here and assume that the individual was a racist off of one video clip, you know.
It wasn't just one
But
video.
it,
So they had,
hold on, let me finish real quick. But
Yeah.
it does look bad. It looks horrible, you know. It does kind of like send out a message. You know, from what you guys are assuming that the individual that's wearing this costume is a racist, you know, because the video clip does look bad. Yeah.
But the thing is the reason why they had at first they came out and tried to explain it away as saying, oh, they weren't waving off these kids, they were waving off some other parent trying to hand them the baby to take a picture, and they can't hold babies to take a picture. Like they tried to excuse it that way the first time. But then when all of those other clips came out of different instances of that same character ignoring other black children while engaging with the white children in the same vicinity, they had to change their response, and they couldn't even explain it away anymore. So like I mean, said, maybe
from what you said, if it's true, then yeah, that's completely wrong.
Yeah, like
and it's probably racially motivated. But I didn't. From what you're explaining, I didn't see that. All I saw from the clip was a guy or girl under the costume just walking by kids and adults. Because the first time when the adult tried to approach the person in the costume, he was like, "Yo, nah, fall back." I mean, like in a polite manner. I mean,
no, it was a white child right next to the two black little girls that he gave a high five to, and he immediately turned and did this and walked off like he didn't see the black kids, right? So that was the first thing. But again, it's not just that part. It's that they literally had to come back and issue another. They retracted their first statement where they was trying to explain it away and make excuses for it. And even in their explanation, it didn't make any sense because what they explained was not what was reflected in the video that we saw. And then once those other videos came out that there was really no explanation for, that's why they had to reissue another statement saying that they're going to retrain their people on racial sensitivity and all of that other stuff. They wouldn't be saying that if it wasn't overwhelming evidence that that's what was happening.
So I'm just guessing that the person behind that mask was white, right? I don't know.
We don't know, but we guessing.
Yeah, exactly. He probably picked that.
You just think that they're not black.
Too. And I wonder if he's still behind the mask, you know, after this incident. Like they never said that they let this person go.
No, they talking about sensitivity training. Like
right.
you know, not taking up kids.
I guess this is. I mean, we would never know if they let him go anyways. He's masked, so how would we know? I mean,
so I guess this is why Ashley's subject matter is to like, yo, should you inform your child on the ripple effects of systemic racism? I mean, I guess you would have to teach your child from a young age on like, yo, listen, like, yo, you're not the dominant race, and you know, don't seek validation from the dominant race. You gotta have some type of self-assuring confidence for yourself in order to stand on your own. I mean,
so did y'all see the clip of the Sesame Street character pushing the black child on the floor?
I didn't see that, and that's horrible. If that's true.
That's
Ashley, can I share that screen?
Yeah, share that for me. But I agree with you, Rush. We can't teach our kids to be colorblind. I mean, we can't, because we don't want to teach them a victim mindset, right? Because everything's not about race, right? Everything's not about race. But we
A lot of
can't
things
have
are.
them, yeah, we can't have them living in a vacuum either,
A
because
lot
they have
of them,
to be
unfortunately,
aware.
are.
Listen,
And
I
a lot
got
of
criticism for my daughter. The only Santa that she knows is what? Oh, the only Santa she knows
oh
is
hell no! Oh hell no!
wait. Let's see this again. What?
Ooh, oh, that was just rude. I mean, stupid.
Now I know their characters.
What in the world?
Those of us who are fans of Sesame Street.
Y'all heartbroken.
No, I'm just saying.
They
I
ain't
know
a fan of Sesame Street.
No, the particular character that bumped that child, okay, on TV, you know, yeah, they act a little wild, but that was just taking it too far. Like, that's crazy right there. They're supposed to be these, I forget the character's name, but they like all out of order, you know, they throw food around, all that kind of stuff. But that right there, that was unacceptable.
Right.
So what I was saying was
I
I got criticism for my daughter, like her pictures with Santa and during the holidays, like we go see the Santa that looks like us. Shout out to Greenbrier Santa.
I
ATL.
know. I
We
gotta
go see the
find. I
Santa
gotta
that looks
catch
like
them.
us.
Yeah.
I was very adamant. We had dolls that had hair like us, you know, and she knows the other dolls are there, but we like representation in my house. We do. We like things that look like us. And that's not me saying, oh, well, the other is not acceptable. No. See, they get fearful of that because, see, that's what they've been doing for so long. So then they automatically think that we're going to do that too. But what we're really trying to establish is a sense of representation.
And balance.
Yeah,
Yes.
At the least, it's going to bring balance because
Yeah.
everybody else is going to be all the TV, all the news is putting the white face up like it's the best thing since ice cream. So at least, at the very least, we can do is put it in our household and bring some type of balance because we're never going to be able to compete with them when they own all these streams of ways to manipulate our child's mind, right? So the thing we got to do is just focus on what we can teach them, and hopefully it brings a balance. And at least they will know that they're on the same playing field mentally with these people, you know, and that they don't feel discouraged because of the color of their skin and this and that. So I definitely don't agree that we should not try to teach our kid that color doesn't matter. We should definitely let them know, because in the majority of any case is going to be some type of racial things going on, even at the workplace. It's going to happen at school. It's going to happen just on the bus and the airplane. It's going to happen. You're going to encounter it sometime in life, and you don't want them to be overwhelmed and not know what's really going on when when you could have just let them know from the very beginning, like, this is going to happen to you, so they can be prepared and they won't have this mental shutdown when it does happen, the feeling of self of that they're not worth anything, and at least they know where it came from, and
they can be prepared emotionally, but also just intellectually to respond to it. I remember being a little young and being a little naive about a couple things, and when I was presented with them, my reflex wasn't strong because I just wasn't expecting it, right? So I think we got to teach them to be a little bit more just aware, not afraid, but just aware.
Yeah, no, I'm extremely adamant about. I think that we do have to overcorrect for a lot of the images that our children are naturally going to receive, and a lot of comments that they're going to get when they're not in your presence, even if it's from within like the Black community, because a lot of us have colorism issues. A lot of us have issues. So I'm always extremely overcorrective of like letting my daughter know that the way her hair naturally looks is beautiful, right? And even still doing all of that stuff, she still comes and like, oh, I want my hair straight. Or I just be like,
Nope.
I'll be like, wow. And she's only 5. You know what I mean?
But I agree with Ashley, man. I mean, at some point you do have to teach your child the awareness of the racial conflict between black people and whites. You know what I mean? Because a lot of times when we try to strive for success, the pigment of the skin gets a lot lighter. You know what I mean? So the more you involve yourself into like money, you're gonna be surrounded, you know what I mean, by Caucasians, and you gotta be prepared to understand that not all of them is gonna accept you. You know what I mean? You're not gonna get no validation from the dominant race. So it's important for you to be able to be sane, have a certain amount of tranquility within yourself to be able to deal with that kind of persecution. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with that, and it's really interesting because me and a friend of mine were talking about how people will tend to also treat your children the way that they view you treating your children as well. And like she brought that up because like my baby girl, like she's dark skinned, like she's darker skinned or whatever, but I don't know. She don't got none of that. Like you can't tell her she's not the best thing since ice cream. And she was just like, it's because when people see you like kind of treating your child a certain way and your child got like this kind of confidence or whatever, people kind of know how they can and can't approach or how they can and can't deal. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's super important.
Exactly. I've seen a woman I used to work with always referring to her well, we all thought she only had 2 kids. And that was the 2 light-skinned kids. Come to find out, she had 4. 2 of them was light-skinned, the other 2 was dark-skinned. But she never talked about the 2 dark-skinned kids, ever. And so when we addressed her, she like, my light-skinned baby, my dark-skinned. I was like, why did you keep on labeling them as that? You know what I'm saying? And then come to find out, she don't even have a relationship. She was always getting into it with the darker ones. That was the 2 oldest. At first in my mind, I'm thinking because maybe one of them was a girl, and women, the older they get, they always get into it with their mother and stuff like that. But then the other was a boy, and I was like, I think she just got some color issues and stuff like that. And then she was always talking about not going outside during the daytime because she didn't want to get burnt. So she had a real problem, you know what I'm saying? And like you said, how you treat your kids is how everybody else will treat your kids or feel like they can treat your kids. You know what I'm saying? So, and the fact that we didn't even know she had 2 dark-skinned kids until,
right.
It was just crazy thing on basketball.
Well, you can just imagine what's going on in that house on a day-to-day basis, because people tend to act like they're better parents around people, and then in the house they probably be worse fucked up parents. But in our presence, she was acting as a fucked up parent, so we already know. Like, I bet in that house she probably not even feeding them. She probably bringing 2 burgers for them 2 little light-skinned kids and like whatever y'all don't eat, give it to them. Give it to them dark skinned motherfuckers over there. So it was crazy. I just hate people like that.
Growing up down here, the way that you're socialized, because like, I've told y'all on the show before, the actual high school I went to, like we actually had what they call plain out just segregated events, like my homecoming court, proms. These things were separated. And then with homecoming court, it was like, okay, if you were the dark-skinned person that maybe emulated white culture, then you had a likely chance of being nominated. Or if you had fairer skin or whatever. So it was like, we just had all these messages that were taught to us that we didn't even have the discussion at home. Like, I actually grew up in a farming community where there's a pool, a swimming pool, right? And it was understood. And mind y'all, I was born in the 80s, okay? It was understood that people that look like me, you had no business in that swimming pool. But it's supposed to be a community swimming pool. And it was understood, and you would hear stories.
How old are you?
I'm 41. And that's what I have to explain to people. Like, people think that they, when people they hear South, they hear New Orleans, they hear Atlanta, they hear all the larger cities. People think that those of us
deep South, God damn.
I'm just saying, those of us who grew up in Georgia, JAWGA, okay, we know better. And we understand that there are certain things that didn't happen according to law. Like, my high school was not officially integrated until 1975. That's 5 or 6 years before I was born. That's a problem. So, I mean, I think it depends upon, like, environment. what the messages that you're being sent. Because my grandmother didn't have to have a conversation with us about us being Black. We knew we were Black when we would go to certain places, when we went to certain events. And it was like in high school, if you weren't, congenial and likable by everybody, and if you were dark skinned and you were yourself, they quote unquote put you in your place. So, it's crazy. I'm trying to teach my daughter, how to respect human beings and how to be, a person of integrity, accountability. I'm trying to teach her character, but she's not blind to the fact that racism is a real thing. And she's only 10 years old. She'll soon be 11. So,
All right. Anyone else want to add to this discussion?
My children are raised in an atmosphere where they're exposed to all different races. They know that they're Black, and we try to be kind, and they know what it gives. Be kind to those that are kind to you. People that's not kind to you could get this work, whether they're Black, white, Puerto Rican, or Asian, brown, yellow, green, or blue.
You're so silly. Hey, that's real.
Hey, I used to think all dark-skinned people can fight.
I'm a lover. I'm sorry.
I used to be terrified of. I'm like, I ain't messing with
I wasn't. I'm gonna jump in there and help. I'm gonna jump in there and help. But as far as like maybe catching contact, whatever, I don't know.
And I was saying that because I used to watch a lot of the old movies, the old gangster movies, and most of them they were dark-skinned people, the gangsters, and the ones that were light-skinned, they always got talked about even in the movie, like in New Jack City. The light-skinned, he even talked about him, So it was like he even made it seem like he was the soft and all the, what I'm saying, and Wesley Snipes was the killer, and then what's his homeboy name? God damn.
G Money.
G Money. He was like the smooth player type, So they always made it seem like in all the movies that the darker person was always the ruthless killer and stuff like that. And so in my mind,
Tyler Perry still do that now.
Oh yeah,
he do.
If it's a dark skin, he gonna be the villain.
Oh,
look, and then don't let it be, because I remember the first time. So I read The Color Purple. I read the book before I actually watched the movie, and I probably was too young to read The Color, but I was an avid reader, and I read The Color Purple, and then I saw the movie, and my little heart was broken because in my mind, all the women in the book, because you know how you read a book and you have visualization.
Yeah.
You identify, when you have visualization, you try to identify, I know as a kid, people, places, and things that you can relate to and maybe look like you. When I saw the movie and I saw what they did to Celie, I was just like, oh, so not only is she dark, but then the whole hair thing. Oh, okay. Her sister dark, but because her hair longer, okay. So I just,
what they did. That's Whoopi Goldberg. That's just how Whoopi Goldberg look. Who ain't no one called Whoopi Goldberg early but you.
Look, Whoopi
Celie was decent.
Whoopi was beautiful.
I know.
All right, y'all. I want to play a little
back in the day. You gotta look at them old pictures. You be like,
pop like a motherfucker. I ain't gonna stunt.
Let me play a clip, y'all.
Like that little girl with the braids. But wait, there's more.
It ain't okay.
But wait, there's more. Wait for it. Wait for it. She's like, what's up? Sesame Place. It is clear that the people who wear your character costumes, there's an issue here. And that statement that you put out is absolute bullshit. It's absolute bullshit.
All right, so those were some of the other clips, just in case you all didn't see those. Yeah.
Not Big Bird, though.
That would be the day that I would be viral.
Man,
I'm not gonna pass up my baby like that.
We would have been part of the parade, goddamn.
Like, hey, buddy, hey, like, what you talking about? Like, no.
I mean, shouldn't we shouldn't we not support these events with Sesame Street because
We
they're
going to Sesame
treating?
Place.
I
Shut their
agree.
place down.
But I mean, I'm surprised that that many kids are still watching Sesame Street. I didn't know that it was my
I
daughter.
mean,
Don't watch Sesame Street.
it is a big franchise. I mean, it's been around for like mad years.
Like Mac.
So
I know, but the
yeah,
thing is that when it comes to your children being, having certain characters and things that they identify with and that
Right.
they like, why would you have to be like, oh no, now my kids don't get to, participate or see these characters that they like.
They're gonna have to do more than put out
see,
that statement.
here's the thing, right? Like, there's a lot of our people, calling this out, and I mean, clearly there's an issue. So I think the solution to the situation is to not support these events, and take your kids somewhere else, instead of Sesame Street.
I agree.
Where you gonna take them?
That's where I come in. At. I need to come up with my own theme park. Like, I don't know.
Go Chuck E. Cheese character black. He always black.
We can have a character that's like Darwin. Like, he just like this black big brother. Like, just.
And I'm gonna do what they did to our kids. I'm gonna go around muffing their kids. Get your ass out my face.
You're so
Oh.
What's wrong with you, Billy? What's wrong with you, Tommy?
No.
Because think about it, right? Like,
Rush, you got a good point, though. You got a good point.
yeah, because you just setting up your kids to be hurt. Like I don't want to hurt. If God forbid I get a kid, I wouldn't want to put my child in that kind of position.
I don't know what kind of decorum or what kind of criteria these other parents got, but my kid wouldn't have been hurt that day. I'm just letting you know. Like, they wouldn't have hurt the last of me, and I'm not even joking. Like, my baby turned around and looked at me like that. It would have been a problem.
Got the last laugh that day.
We would have walked right out there on the stage. Hey, excuse me.
I mean,
hey,
by being exposed, by being exposed with this information on seeing how these characters treat melanated children, would you still want to bring your child to an event like that?
Well, I mean, again, I didn't even know anything about Sesame Street Place and all of that stuff anyway. So I feel like at the same time we take our, I mean, everything is racist. So I mean,
I think because of the history behind Sesame Street,
but I
get what you're saying, Rush. Like we need to really think twice. I agree with Rush about what we're supporting and what we're exposing our kids to, because if it's something that does not represent us, we probably don't want to.
But I think most things don't represent us. You know what I mean? I just feel like most things don't.
There has to be like a solution to it, because at this point, like, we're not going to give people any type of moral reason to respect Black and brown people. You know what I mean? They ain't done it. At this point, they don't care to. So we're not going to appeal to them by making these moral arguments. The best thing to do really is to pull our resources together. And this is a whole other topic, but Black people need to pull our resources and our talents together to make something big. And I mentioned this before on another show. Like, everybody got all their little businesses, right? And I have to call them little, right? Because your small business can become a huge business, right? But we have all these side hustles and all these things that we're doing, and we're separating our money to do different things as opposed to us pulling our resources together.
Well, that's how we can
have our own business.
Like, let's just be real. I just don't understand how. Well, and I think that does come from like history and the way that history is talked about and explained. But let's not pretend that there is not literally a concerted effort every time we do anything on a mass scale to dismantle it. Black, whatever it is, distinctly and specifically targeted and dismantled. So I mean, it's real easy to just be like, we just need support because we're just not doing it. No, we do it, and guess what? Every single time, torn back down.
Because we ain't cutthroat.
No, because we're not on code.
We're divided.
That's right, Rob.
We're easily,
that's true too.
Can we be accepting all these people that's not part of us that be like, oh no, That's not racist. You're just being sensitive. You're using your blackness as a scab. No, that's some racist stuff right there.
Right.
And I'm not spending all that money to go to Sesame Place for my children to be ignored like that. If you're over here hugging up on all of these other children of other nationalities, you better hug mine too. Otherwise, they're going to see Big Bird, Rosita, and whoever else get dragged up and down the whole
For real,
street.
that's what I was saying. It would have been
Yes,
viral. Definitely a viral moment.
And
And
it's-
it wouldn't have been just a viral of them getting ignored.
And it's horrible because, like, when you look at the history of Sesame Street and why they created it, and then, you know, the beef that the actual people who are in charge of the content now have with some of the original creators, like, there was a rift.
They have
And
beef.
then, yeah, there was some beef because, like, the person who originally created it, the people of color who originally came together and said, this is what we want to see this show be. Their beef now is those that are still living is that y'all are really basically turning this away from the audience that we tried to capture in the first place. Sesame Street was meant for, you know, kids of color who were inner city. That's who it was meant for, to expose them to educational interventions that otherwise they would not have exposure to outside of a classroom setting. So then now their whole argument is you all are catering to people who have access to different resources versus catering to the population that it was originally created for. But how many times have we seen this? The whole dismantling of, just like you just said.
WB, Fox.
Yep. Because think about some of the characters on Sesame Street. I was a Sesame Street kid, like in conjunction function, ABC Kids, Schoolhouse Rock, and all of that. Like, I was that kid, Saturday morning cartoons. And think about all of those shows that actually faded out that had the little cartoon characters with the afros and you know, you heard the guy talking about this is a bill and this is what the House of Representatives is. All those creators are now, they dying off. They understood the assignment, but now most of the stuff on TV, okay, if it's not on Netflix or some other streaming service, they're catering to like people of privilege or people who actually have exposure, you know, to certain resources. And so I'm kind of like with Rush now, like, you know, Sesame Street, they're gonna have to do more than put out this statement to gain some of their that, yeah, like a statement ain't gonna cut it no more. And I'm sick of people making statements and thinking that that's supposed to provide some kind of solace to the situation when that really all you admitting, right, and you're not coming up with.
You can't force these people to love your kids, man. Like,
right.
They're not gonna show them the same amount of affection that you would give your own seed because there is a racial conflict. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, yo, personally, man, I'm not shocked. I mean, a bunch of these white niggas that work under these joints probably don't like black kids.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And white niggas. Hold on.
Rush up here making new terms, but yeah, no, Rush, I get it. I think he's right though. We need to boycott. We need to not buy these tickets. We need to not frequent Sesame Place. And you know, I hate to say it because I'm a fan of Sesame Street, but hey, we ain't tuning in no more. But you know, because y'all don't represent us. Y'all have clearly showed that y'all don't represent us. So it's like, why would I continue to support something that don't support me? Yep. So I'm just saying, it's crazy.
Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead. We've reached the end of the show. We're gonna go ahead and do our famous last words. For those of you who don't know, famous last words is just, you know, in under 60 seconds, say what you would like for everyone to remember about your message from tonight. All right. So, famous last words. Who likes to go first?
I kick it off. I just want to let everybody know, if you want to get on the Angela Simmons workout plan, give me a shout out. Hit me up on Facebook, inbox me. I'll get you on a nice little regimen, get you a natural little body toned up, just like she got. You know, Canwin Fitness and Karate is now in session. So just give me a call. She looks very beautiful. And everybody who is discouraged by all of these fake bodies and think they need to go under the knife to get these bodies. Just take a look at Angela Simmons and just take that as inspiration to just go after what you want. And if you want it, you'll get it. She's been working hard at it, and she's got the body that she wants. She's not afraid to flaunt it, and she shouldn't be. She looks nice.
All right now. All right. Who likes to go next? Rush, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. To be real quick, I mean, yo, just seek wisdom, practice humility, and remain sucker free. You heard? I'm out. One.
Oh, Rush, before you out, you gotta let them know about your show.
Oh yeah, yo, y'all could check me out on the Labudo Network. Know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, like, yo, my time frame fluctuates at times, so you know, if you subscribe on it, you know what I mean, you get the notification when I come true. You heard?
All right now. All right, thank you. And Robbie, famous last words.
Hey, first of all, Rush always cracks me up. Rush, I don't even you funny. I'm with it. But my famous last words is this. Y'all better stop thinking all these kinfolk, all these skin folks is kinfolks. They not your family, they not your friends, they don't care about what you got going on. Black people need to get back on code and focus on our children. At the end of the day, we need to have a world that's for us, by us, and F them. Period.
All right now. Thank you. All right, Mrs. Jovo, famous last words.
Absolutely. Hey, I want y'all to remember something. My famous post-it. All your behavior is a choice. Be your own peace. Don't expect people to do things that you're not doing for yourself. Okay. There is a difference between a marriage covenant and a marriage contract. Okay. Look that up. All right. And catch me on Clubhouse on those Thursdays in the month of August. Second Thursday, right, Ashley?
Yep.
Second
Second
Thursday.
Thursday.
Yeah,
8:30.
second Thursday, come get this free therapy. Love y'all.
All right. And we got our last but not least, Mrs. Cannon Hill.
Yeah, just I gotta go all the way back to the beginning, I guess. And don't believe anybody when they say they're cheating for peace. Okay, cheating is not gonna bring peace. So just don't believe the lies and don't believe the hype.
It's gonna bring disease.
Thank you. All right, y'all. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to the Ladies Room. We will be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central. So make sure you tune in, y'all. All right. We appreciate y'all for watching and